right. Hi, everyone. It's me, Teresa. um, I am Travis's wife. I am the co-host of Schmanners. I wanted to say hello. Hello, chat. Wanted to say hello and just do a little live for MaxFunDrive. I am very excited to see you all today. And I'm definitely going to be thanking everyone for being new, upgrading, boosting members. And if you will let me know in the chat that you are one of those, I would love to say thank you. But in between times, I thought that I might share this book that I came across. This book is called The Bluffer's Guide to Etiquette, written by William Hanson. Here it is, lovingly post-it noted by our writer and researcher, Alex. Oh, hello, Purple Crayon. And let's see, Name Not Found and Tubby Jamboree. Nice to see you in the chat. So I have come across this etiquette person on Instagram. Oh, hello. Elzag says hello. I have come across them, and his particular brand of etiquette is very interesting to me. Hello, Lax9586. Hi. Because it seems quite extreme to me, but that's probably because I'm not having dinner with kings and queens. It's quite posh. A lot of the things that he has to say. I'm reminded of the video where he discusses eating a banana, an unpeeled banana, at a luncheon or a breakfast, I think he says. And he says that one should cut the banana on the plate and then eat it with a knife and fork. Like I said, interesting. Oh, hello, Genevera. Thank you so much for boosting your membership. I really appreciate it. And every dollar really counts. And so much of it actually goes to support the shows that you love. Let's see. Here's one to just kind of dip our toe in. He says that if you would like to be accepted as a member of polite society, you say, how do you do? Don't say, pleased to meet you. And the answer is interesting. I do agree, sort of, because what if you aren't? What if you find that you do not enjoy this person, right? Because if you've never met them before, you can't know if you're happy to meet them. I understand it. I don't know if in our modern society we really think about it that much, though. It's like we've talked about how there's the dance of saying hello to someone, meeting someone, where you ask them, how are you? And they say, I'm fine, even if they aren't fine. Because that's the way that we start the conversation. Those are the first few steps. So I think that being so careful about not saying pleased to meet you really takes that dance very seriously. I like this. Someone in the chat has said, displeased to be here, neutral about greeting you. I like that. Like I said, his particular brand of etiquette is very interesting. He talks a lot about like I said, very posh circles. And so maybe it's really just something that we don't have in the US or that we're not used to. Like I said, I'm not part of the upper echelon. But I don't think that anyone on this side of the pond really cares that much. Here is as far as introductions go. Let me make sure that I've checked the chat. Yes. Oh, people are really enjoying figuring out if they like to say, pleased to meet you, or their responses to I'm fine. I love that. How are you? Too soon to tell. How funny. Here's something that you might be able to use that I found useful. What to do when you have forgotten someone's name. It's a very clever way that you can take care of it, where you say, for example, hello, Richard. Glad to see you again. May I introduce, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I've forgotten your name. And then the person says their name. And you say, oh no, Henry, I meant your last name. And then they say their last name. I think this is very coy. Because not only do they supply how their own name, then you get to kind of pad their ego a little bit about how, oh, of course, I didn't forget your name. I meant your last name, my friend. How interesting, right? This does happen quite often. And I find myself being torn when people say things like, I'm sure you don't remember me, right? Maybe we should all just kind of make the better of the situation and say, in case you don't remember me. And then you can supply your own name, right? Instead of assuming the worst about someone who has forgotten about you. That really doesn't feel good. So we can just say, in case you have forgotten my name. Ah, yes. Polite gaslighting. Definitely. I really could see that. Let's see. I'm going through my lovely Post-it notes here. But I would like to talk a little bit about his Instagram. Like I said, William Hansen, for those of you who are just joining us. William Hansen is a modern etiquette guide, and he wrote the Bluffer's Guide to Etiquette. And a lot of his advice is aimed very squarely towards the very upper classes of English society. I think that he would be a good person to advise you on, like, if you were going to a formal dinner at I don't know, Buckingham Palace or something. Although I don't think that they would serve you bananas. And I told the listeners earlier that it was very interesting to watch his video on eating a banana, where he put it on the plate and slid it open with his knife and fork, and then opened it and cut one piece at a time. Interesting. Okay, this is something that we have talked a little bit about Ange manners. I'm going to talk to you what he says you should do about holding your cutlery. He says holding your weapons. For example, one of the first ones that he talks about is wine glasses. We talked about this a little bit in our sommelier video or episode, where for a red wine, you are expected to hold your glass at the ball, right? In the bowl of the glass. And then for white wine, and in fact, the more chilled that a wine is, the further down the stem you should hold it to keep it cold. But he goes to talk about all sorts of things as far as like knowing which china to use, how to eat at a restaurant, which I think is important, because he says that for your wine, don't hold out your drink. Your drink is served from the right-hand side, and whatever you do, don't hold out your glass as your neighbor's is being replenished, which is something that I am actually guilty of. I often will think that I am being such a good diner, right? By helping my server, like with I hold my glass or something like that. And it has taken a few years into my adult life to remember that that's not what's expected of me. And in fact, it would make things a little more difficult for service if I were to hold my glass up to be refilled. And it really didn't occur to me that that was the case until I started filling my children's cups. And I would just be like, no, don't do anything. Just leave it on the table and I will take care of it. Anyway, let me check again the stream here, the chat. Premeditated bananas. People are on a roll here. Oh, okay. People are saying that they like cold red wine. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever had cold red wine, but I do like sangria cold, which seems similar to me. Okay. Let me see. What is next? Oh, some highly specific food etiquette. This is what I've been talking about, right? Something that I've always been afraid of while eating are not being able to take care of the food that I'm served, which is why I subscribe to the idea that Miss Manners, Judith Martin, said that you should never attempt to eat anything too involved or messy, right? On a business dinner, for example, if you're worried about twirling your spaghetti, right? Don't order spaghetti. Should you twirl? Should you cut? What should you do? Just don't order it. Order something that you know you can pick up easily to eat and not be embarrassed about. Oh, I see in the chat here. Oh, Travis, thank you for joining us, Travis. Yes, this is Travis's office. Isn't it lovely? Interesting. Okay, so I was going to start. I think that I was interested to read for someone who seems to, like I said, his Instagram videos are mostly knife and fork based. Artichokes are permitted to be eaten with the fingers. Like when you're served a whole artichoke head, that you may actually peel it off, dip into the sauce, and then use your teeth to peel off the flesh of the leaf. And then when you're down to the choke, then you can remove that with a knife and fork and eat the heart. I, for one, have never been served an artichoke at a restaurant, and it is something I would definitely never choose. Let's see. Look at the chat here. No super tall sloppy tostadas on a business dinner. I agree. That would be difficult for me. People are loving your plants, Travis. I wonder if he's still watching. Let's see. Mm-hmm. I mentioned, I see it in the chat. I mentioned the knife and fork based Instagram posts. Here's another one. He says that restaurants are now serving burgers so large that it is impossible to pick up and eat elegantly. In this instance, they should be eaten with a knife and fork, where you remove the top half of the bun and cut it as you would be a steak. The top bun can be cut into throughout to add to your bites. And this is the exception to the no bread cutting rule. Bread is a very interesting idea. Because you would think that cutting a piece of bread and buttering it all at once is the thing that one should do to be over and done with, right? But it is almost kind of a strange ritual that's expected where, especially I would say if you are served bread on a bread plate, right? You are expected to tear off a small piece and butter each piece individually. I think that this works if there is, if you have your own individual pot of butter, best. If you don't, and you want to, you can prepare your butter by picking up a large piece, enough to butter all of the bread, and putting that on the side of your dessert, of your bread plate, and then you can butter them individually. It just takes such a long time. And my kids, they love to have it cut in half and put the butter on the inside, like a butter sandwich. I'm still working on it. I think that etiquette, especially around eating, is a lifelong journey. Let me see. People are enjoying thinking about cutting up their burgers. Someone says P Burnsiv asks to do with the top of the burger. You cut it up and add it to your bites as you can. Let's see. Looking through, trying to find something that I feel like is news to people. Things like eating grapes and cheese and oysters, I think, are discussed quite often. Oh, we've talked about this before. A little bit of soup. If someone was eating a burger like that, you'd call, oh boy, you'd call 911. Interesting. Eating soup is something that I feel like is hardly ever seen in movies done correctly, because it does look very strange to do, although it makes a lot of sense. The soup spoon scoops away from you on one side while skimming the surface, and then you sip from the near side of the spoon. It is permissible to tip the bowl away to help you catch the last few mouthfuls. And apparently he says that now eating with smaller oval soup spoons is much easier than it was using tablespoons. So it's a kind of like a leverage with the wrist, where you have to kind of scoop away and then bring towards, and scoop away and then bring towards, using the far edge of the bowl to kind of like level the spoon. In fact, you can also, if you feel that the soup is very drippy or you've overfilled your spoon, you can kind of pull the spoon on the edge of the bowl to catch any drips off before you bring it to your mouth. Interesting, right? And these are things that I think that at one time, perhaps they were actually taught to people. And then it just became like, oh, you'll catch on, right? I'm thinking of that scene in Pretty Woman at the restaurant where the mussel escapes her little mussel tongs. Or is it escargot? I think it is. I think it's escargot. People are enjoying learning, and I appreciate that. We've talked about soup and bread. What is the rules about dunking bread into the soup? I don't believe it is permitted in these upper echelons. But I think that dunking the bread into the soup would be something that I would need a very hearty like roll or crusty bread for, because I wouldn't want it to like crumble and disappear into the soup. So if you're going to do that, and it's been suggested that that is what is expected of the meal, it should be a very hard or crusty roll. Let's see. Oh, I like this. I enjoy using the big ramen spoons for soup, and you can construct the perfect bite. Alicia Worthington, 828. That's a great idea. I bet my kids would really love that. They really enjoy ramen, and those spoons, they can't get enough of them. Anything else? I think that the food always trips me up, but we'll find something else. Oh my goodness. Here's an episode on he calls it Etiquette, back when it was Twitter. Don't we all miss those days? Let's see. The front cover looks like just enough for a Rick Steves tour guide. Ah, I can see that. It does, doesn't it? He is no Rick Steves. Quite different. Let's see. But this chapter has more about all of the kind of social etiquettes as well. Email, he says, has replaced the letter, although I think it feels so much more posh to get a letter than it does to receive an email. Maybe that's just the way that I romanticize letters back when they were maybe hand delivered by butlers or footmen or whatever. Back onto Twitter. He says, you might begin to understand that Twitter is no respecter of etiquette. As with all social media, attention-seeking posts are to be avoided at all cost, as they will show you up to be a lightweight. This was back when we talked about humble brags, right? We don't want to do any of that. Let's see. I'm skipping through a lot of these. Ah, yes. I think calling cards also were very cool. Little legs. I think we should bring those back. Although calling cards were the kind of like way of introducing and accepting a visit. And I don't think that we visit acquaintances as often these days. Acquaintances are usually kind of reserved for a third space, right? Where I really only bring my close friends into my home, and I don't expect to go and visit people that I've really only just met. That's what calling cards were for, right? In fact, at one point in history, if you left a calling card for someone that you knew would be home and you were good friends, it was often considered kind of a snub, like, oh, are we not as good of friends as I thought we were? Let me see. Anything? Oh, life hack. If you buy some white gloves, every household chore you do becomes white glove service. Interesting. I love that. Oh, man. You guys have some really great ideas. Let's see. Here is the other thing that I wanted to do. Now that I can use my telephone, my cellular device. He has a website where you have this quiz that you can take, and I thought we could take our quiz together. Let me visit it. Bluffers.com. Thought we could take this quiz together. That's not at all what it's supposed to be. What happened here? I did this a few months ago, and I had hoped it would still be live. Seems to be redirecting me to a different place. Making sure that I am spelling it right. Let me know, anyone, if they can find bluffers.com for the Bluffer's Guide to Etiquette. It seems that it redirects to other sites now. Oh, how disappointing. There was this really interesting quiz on it. About some of the things that he had written in the book. I'm going to try some other searching. Etiquettes. Thank you for your patience, everyone. It doesn't seem to be available anymore. How disappointing. It is bad etiquette not to maintain your website. Thank you, Skeleton Ravens. I agree. Let's see. I think that since I started a little late, I am going to go just a few more minutes. What can I talk about now? I've gone through the book. Maybe I can talk about our Travis and I's bonus content for this year. If you join MaxFun, or if you are a current member, you are privy to hundreds of hours of bonus content. I have been on there a little bit, but it's just staggering how much we really appreciate you guys and putting these bonus content streams, episodes up. We really look forward to it. We try and find something engaging, something that people would really love to listen to. And this year, Travis and I were introduced to a new world, I would say, of Disney content. Our girls started listening to like Disney on like as kind of like a background music, and they found not the animated songs but the original movies. They found the music from Zombies 2 and they just loved it, and they badgered us to want to watch it. And we really try, maybe sometimes at our detriment, but we really try to participate in the watching of TV and such. So we all watched it. We all watched Zombies 2 and we were hooked immediately. We really loved the story of acceptance. We really loved the story of everybody's really just trying to do their best. And you can't know what someone is like unless you spend time with them. A lot of things are discussed in that way. And so we spent almost all summer, last summer, watching all of the Zombies movies. And we watched them with our kids so many times that it became a dominant topic of discussion, just about like all of the small little things about zombies that we were able to glean after multiple viewings. Did you watch Zombies 1? Yes, we did watch Zombies 1. I really enjoy Zombies 1. Those cute kids, they're great. So, you are unfamiliar. Oh, wow. Okay. I recommend it. I really like it. It's not perfect. That's one of the things that we discuss in the episode. And I would love for you to join Max Fun so that you can listen to our episode. I don't know if the video is up. We put some video on Instagram for sure. But I've really come to appreciate this specific franchise. We also watched, what else did we watch? We also watched the Descendants movies, although I'm not as interested in the kind of message. It seems just more like fun Disney lore that they're making. Oh, I'm told that the video was just for clips. So the video is not available, but we do wax on and on. I think that the episode is like 2 hours long, which we never talk that long, but on our episodes, but we did because we love the topic so much. Yes, please do watch them. They've got I consider it the 3 original movies. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then last July, Zombies 4 came out. And these actors, they have been with this franchise for such a long time. As if you watch them in succession, you can really see them grow up on screen, which is so cute. The older ones are the older kids, I want to say, people are about half my age when these movies came out. So I still kind of refer to them as kids. Hey, it looks like, look at that. Ray Tracer, thank you so much for upgrading and wow, prepaying for the year. I didn't know that you could do that, but that's amazing. Really appreciate you. This time of year, we really try and thank all of our members, and we are so happy to see when new people join us. So thank you so much. Just to wrap up my little zombies teaser diatribe here, I think that they do a really good job in this franchise of coding the stories in just enough fun, so that they can show you that like the song and the dance, right? Make it cool and fun, but also that these are things that real people face, even though they're not zombies or werewolves or aliens in Zombies 3. Let's see. Thank you, Genevera. Also, Candle Nights this year was great. Oh, thank you. We had a really great time. We love going to Huntington for Candle Nights. And being at the Keith Albee this year was just fantastic. Oh, look, Leave Me Alone 930. This is their first year as being a member. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you. And I hope that you are getting your money's worth with all of those BOGO episodes. There are so many and so great, so many great different facets, I was going to say, I think, of Max Fun, really covering comedy and culture and like everything in between. I almost exclusively listen to Max Fun shows. My favorite is Sawbones. In the same vein as I like to learn about etiquette, I also like to listen to Sydney teach Justin about medical history. Let me see. Anything else? Oh, Lilac Moon 03. Thank you so much for becoming a member this year. Or last year, and talking about boosting. Yes. We really appreciate these little boosts this year. I know that things are tight and it's not always feasible to go up to a new level, but boosting is a really great way to show your appreciation, especially if you consume a lot of content. We really appreciate it. And it's just a way to just move your donation up by dollar amounts instead of going from one tier to the next. Let me see. Oh, yes, Sawbones and Schmanners. We do have good parallels. I think that we are quite literally sister-in-law shows. Sawbones, Schmanners crossover stream. I'm into it. I'm really into that. Okay. That is going to do it for me for today. I think that I need to find out how I can finish the stream. Okay. I've been told that I just have to push end stream. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate those of you who upgraded or boosted or just told me about your membership. That's wonderful. And I hope that you learned a little something from our discussion. So thank you so much. Remember to go to MaximumFun /join so that you can join our Max Fun family today.